Hey everybody, welcome back to Successify, where we study the tips, tricks, and techniques that can inspire you to be more successful at whatever it is that you're doing in life. Today I wanted to talk about sculpting and why it's vitally important to your success and happiness in life. Stay tuned. Sculpting has been around for thousands of years, and for most of its early history, it basically involved an artisan getting a thought in his head of something that he wanted to create. Going out, finding a big slab of stone, and then beating it, hammering it, chiseling it, and then polishing it to make that stone look like the statue that he had in his mind. Well, in the early 15th century, a young artisan came along that took a different philosophy, a different approach. And his approach skyrocketed him to be the best sculptor in the world, all before he was the age of 30. We have his sculptures today. They're some of the greatest sculptures that we've ever seen, the most lifelike, the most real, the most beautiful. We're talking about Michelangelo and how he turned the world of sculpting upside down. You see, he took a different approach, a different philosophy. Rather than beating a piece of rock until it looked like what he had in his mind, he envisioned that there was a statue inside of that slab of stone. And then his job was to just release it, to work away, chisel away the extra rough spots until the beautiful statue inside was released. Having that end vision then and chiseling away rather than trying to force something into it made a big difference. Now, how does that apply to you? Why does that even make a difference to tell this story? I honestly believe that every single person was put on this earth as a beautiful work of art. We all have the capability, the potential to do great things in whatever field, whatever area of life that we want to. As we grow up, as we live in this society, as we do our normal daily things, things get added onto us. Rough, ugly stone kind of gets built around our work of art. And before long, we become unrecognizable as the wonderful, beautiful statue, the great work of art that we are. We get to become more of a slab of stone. And so it becomes our job to find a way to release ourselves from that stone. In the small town of Batavia, Illinois, there's a sculpture that I really love called the SelfMade Man. And this sculpture shows the torso of a man with a hammer, and he's chiseling down towards his leg. And if you look from his waist down, it's all rock and stone. So he's essentially chiseling away everything that's around him. He's creating or releasing his work of art from the stone. And that work of art is himself. I love that sculpture because it reminds me that even though sometimes I look in the mirror and I see all my rough edges and all my imperfections and all the things that I'm not good at, it reminds me that it's up to me to make myself better. It's up to me to chisel away, do whatever it takes to break away all those rough edges, to smooth it out, to polish it, and to release the work of art that I was sent here to be. We all have that hidden down deep inside. It's not going to break away on its own. Someone's not going to come and just chisel it away for us. We have to do it for ourselves. So here are 3 tips, 3 things that you can do to help break free from the stone that's surrounding you. Number 1, have a vision of what you want to be. Just like Michelangelo had a vision of what was trapped inside the stone, you have to have a vision of where you want to go in life. What do you want to become? You can't just chisel away without a plan, or else you'll just end up as another lump of stone but smaller. You have to have a vision of what you want to become. What are you working towards? What's the goal? So that way, as you chisel away everything that doesn't pertain to that, you can be headed in the right direction. You can release the real you, the you that makes you happy, the you that you really want to become. So number 1, start with a vision in mind. Number 2, chisel away the negative, particularly the negative thoughts. I read a study a couple of years ago that said that anywhere from 80 to 90% of the thoughts that we think about ourselves is negative. Can you imagine that? When we think of ourselves, 80 to 90% of the time we're thinking of ourselves in a negative light or how we don't measure up to somebody else. Can you imagine that? 80 to 90% of the things that we think about ourselves are negative? I mean, we're looking in the mirror and we're just clumping on chunks of extra stone on top of ourselves. We're doing it to ourselves. We're self-sabotaging just by the way we think about ourselves. And a lot of that comes from society and the way it is today with social media and how everything is so comparative. But we can take control of that process. Here's a great way that I found to do it. Every morning when you wake up in the morning, look in the mirror and say 10 nice things to yourself. 10 nice things about yourself. If that feels really uncomfortable, write down a list of 10 things that you like about yourself or about your life. What are the good things? What are the positives? I promise you have at least 10. You've got at least 100, but let's start with 10. Write them down, think about them, and if you're brave enough, say them to yourself in the mirror. And then go out and tell them to other people. Not your traits, but tell other people the good things about them. Help them chisel away the things that they don't like about themselves. When you help to build yourself up, when you talk to yourself in a positive way, and then you go out and talk to others in a positive way, those two things together are very, very powerful. It's probably the best way that you can sculpt the life that you want. I know it will be hard at first. It's really hard to talk nicely about yourself because you feel like you're prideful. It almost feels like it's a sin to compliment ourselves. But I promise that as you do it, if you can fight through that first couple of days of that difficulty of complimenting yourself and thinking good things about yourself, within a week you're going to start to notice a major change in your life, a major change in the way that you feel about yourself, a major change in the way that you start to act towards others and around others. When you talk nicely to yourself, you release that inner beauty, that inner greatness that you have, that inner strength. You're allowing it to come out. So don't let your words encase yourself in that ugly, rough stone. Use your words to release the work of art. And number 3, once you've done that for yourself, go out and help other people release themselves from their stone. The most powerful thing you can do to change yourself is to look towards changing other people. If you can direct your focus on helping other people to change and to be better, if you can give positive compliments to them, tell them nice things, it could be little things. But when you build up other people, you help them to release that work of art that they are. You help them to knock away and chisel away those bits of stone that are covering up the good things that they have. If you want to effect change for yourself, the best way to do it is to effect change for somebody else. So it's time to pick up your hammer and chisel and get to work. Time goes by at the same speed for everybody. Whether you decide to work on yourself now or later, time doesn't matter. Time's going to keep going on. I don't want you to look back 10 years from now and say, oh my goodness, I wish I would have done something then. Do it now. Future you will be very happy that you took action now. Now's the time to make a change. Now's the time to be better. Now's the time to take the first step. Whatever you've been through in life, whatever hardships, whatever experiences you've had that have just clumped on ugly, rough stone, you are the only one that has power to break free. There's nobody in the world that can come in and give you good advice and break you free from what you've gone through. No one can come in and change the way you think about yourself. No one can use their hammer on you anywhere close to as effective as you can use your own hammer on yourself. So now's the time to get to work. Now's the time to chisel away the stone and release that great work of art that you have inside. Our world needs you to be your very best. We need you to be the work of art that you were sent here to be. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel as we do videos like this every week to try and help our community and then our people in our communities to be better, to be happier, and to be more successful at whatever it is they're doing in life. Thanks for watching.